We're here in beautiful Andorra for the Mountain Bike World Championships. This is the race where riders break out extra special paint jobs to reflect on their home country colors or just add some personal flair for a little boost in confidence. We're gonna roll around the pits to check out what shiny whips are popping up this weekend and kind of get those details of what they might be changing for this extra fast track. Yeah, so we're here in the Commencal Muc-Off pits. We've got Amaury Piron's bike behind us here. This is a pretty flashy red marble. Yeah, can you tell us a little bit about where the theme for this came from, and is red his favorite color or what?
Yeah, I think so. Like for racing, for sure, like it's his favorite color. Every time he asks us, like, did my frame will be red or anything? And yeah, at some point you need to say, okay, yeah, you will have a red frame. And yeah, he loves these details about like those paint job, you know, like underneath the paint and stuff.
Yeah, real cool.
Yeah,
you've got like the gold decals on the red, and then the red decals with the gold components.
So like
that's
kind of
like
the same scheme, like stickers and stuff than the usual frame, but with all the red details and stuff.
So yeah, in the past we've seen Amaury riding a steel or chromoly chainstay, and this one's aluminum, right?
This one is aluminum just to match the paint job as the steel one. You know, we don't have like that much, so we keep them for the races. But yeah, that will appear on the bike like at some point this week.
All right, so Maxime, we're here with Miriam's bike. A little bit different flavor, like gold with sort of like this textured.
Yeah, it's marbly texture. I don't know. But it's cool. She liked the whites also, so we tried to do like a lot of whites on the bike because she's something she really liked, and she ride like a slightly different geometry, like shorter wheelbase to fit this track. And
cool.
Same like suspension setup and linkage, we can adjust like everything as we want. Yeah, the chain guide is a bit different because as we move the kinematic, like the rear point is like a bit it's a bit lower, so we need to have like custom chain guide.
Awesome, thank you. Cool. So we're here in the Atherton pits with Ben. You're Andreas's mechanic. Yep. I see both names on here, kind of like a rally car style. Yeah. And that kind of draws into where the paint came from too, right?
Yeah, the boys are both the boys are into their cars. They like motorsport, so we took the paint code from BMW M Sport Racing. So this is M Sport Red Ice, and Charlie's is M Sport Blue Ice, which is what the paint code are. So both of them are into their cars. I think they both like an M3 at some point.
Nice. And the guys have raced here before. Are there any changes they're making to the bikes for this track in particular?
Yeah, we're going to run a larger rotor on the rear. Just for cooling. We usually run a 203 on the rear. We're going to go to a 223 now on the rear. Okay. As well as the front. We usually run a 223 on the front, but just to keep it cool. It's not a massive thing about power, brake performance. It's just cooling because it's a real fast track where it's quite draggy. So the brakes get real hot, and we're just trying to keep them consistent. Makes sense.
Sounds good. Yeah. All right, awesome. Thank you very much.
Cheers, bro.
Whoa, the green fork and everything. Look at this one. So we rolled by the Mondraker pits, and the first thing I noticed was the custom paint job on the fork as well. Ronan's bike looking super fresh. The green, black, super class for the Ireland colors. But I noticed he's also got some special logos on the tires too.
Yeah, super cool.
Everybody went all out on this build. Are there any special things he's doing for this race in particular? Any changes to the bike?
We have done a small new parts, really small details, but we had the summer break, so we have been working. Okay. And we have some little updates. Yeah. Everything is painted at home, so it's super cool. Okay. They have done a cool job.
So we're standing next to Dakota Norton's bike, probably the most recognizable bike on the circuit, probably just due to the high-rise bars. It certainly works for him. He's jockeying for first position. I'm sure he wants World Champs win more than anything. But I also see he's got some changes compared to the other riders on his bike. Can you talk us through the cockpit setup and sort of what that does?
Yeah, obviously he likes to run like a really high front. He likes to be like super centered on the bike, like quite stable. He's the longest bike of the three.
Okay. Even though Ronan's taller.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
We're here looking at Ryan Pinkerton's bike. Is there anything different between his bike and Ronan's and Dak's as well? Like they all have different setups. I noticed the chainstay is maybe a different length.
Yeah. He likes to have like a lot of confidence with the front wheel.
Okay.
So his bike is slightly longer on the rear, shorter in the front, because he rides quite on the back, so he need to have this front load. It's difficult to see. Everything looks the same, but there are some millimeters here and there.
And he does something pretty crazy with his brakes, right? He has a middle finger moto style breaker.
Yes.
I don't know how he does that.
No, me neither. But it's okay. It's working, so...
Definitely works for him.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, thanks for those details.
Thank you.
Cheers. Okay, so we're here in the Madison pits. These bikes caught our eye real quick. We've got Jesse here with Greg Williamson's bike. Can you give us a little rundown on obviously why you went with these colors and anything new or exciting about this bike?
Yeah, so the bike is pretty much the same as what the boys have been running all season. Really pretty much exactly the same, to be honest. Paint job, kind of you got your Scottish theme, so you got the saltire, so the Scottish flag, your blue and white, and then you got a little bit of a thistle, which is the purple.
Yeah.
And then in terms of the lines, that's actually Madison, in terms of Madison Saracen. Nice. So that's the start of Madison written on there. So.
Okay, so Ewan, we're here with Matt Walker's bike. We just checked out Greg's. Obviously different colors. I hear that he had a little bit of inspiration from some old school, like flashy motocross colors.
Yeah, Matt's kind of big into the kind of neons and like generally like his helmet designs and stuff like that are kind of quite loud. And yeah, the inspiration was kind of some sort of older school motocross style paint jobs, and yeah, they've done a great job of it.
What are the changes between, say, Greg's bike and Matt's bike? I see the first thing I noticed was the lower rise bar that Matt's riding.
Matt typically runs a 30mm rise bar as a max, really.
Good stuff, looks great. Thanks very much.
Okay, no problem.
Cheers. All right, so we're here checking out Greg Minnaar's World Champs bike. Obviously it has the South African flag theme mixed into the bike. It's a wild mix. Nick Larson is the man behind the design. He's got matte paint, gloss paint, 2 different texts, a little caricature on the back of the seat tube, and then the rear end of the bike has basically remained unchanged. They did some testing through the short summer break. They've gone to a stiffer bridge on this bike, but they're actually going to revert to a different one that has a carbon wrap on it for the race. But this just kind of showcases that full South African flag paint job. So Gracie Hemstreet's bike just came back. This one's all clean, fresh out of the box, built up. Nick Larson also did the gloss to matte finish on this one as well with the 2 different texts. This thing has got the Canadiana theme going on with flags on one side, the red, the white. Down lower, you can see the paint job done by Fresh Paints of Whistler. A couple more details. It's got like this sort of wood grain on the red under the glossy finish, and then a funny caricature for every rider on the back of the seat tube. Okay, so we're here at the Trek pits with Fraser, Bodie Kuhn's mechanic. Can you tell us a little bit about the inspiration for this paint job? You got the matching fork and some rims as well. This is freaking cool.
Yeah, the rims is actually, that's kind of a fluke that's happened. Okay. But those match our other paintway, you know, the silver one. But they match this good too. The paint is pretty crazy close up, and you can actually feel it as well. So this paint, they spray it on and then they heat it up. And that's when it like almost shrinks and cracks, and you get this crackle effect. But the actual detail, if you check them all out, they are different.
Oh, true.
So they're not exactly the same, just the way that it cracks.
Yeah,
it's not super duper loud like Worlds, but I think it's nice for a change because it's always just like, you know, bright colors and all the bikes are matching, and yeah, it's good. It's pretty cool.
And so for Andorra, any major changes going on? Most people seem to be sticking with what they know.
I think we'll stick with it. Maybe a little bit firmer on the suspension, just because it is pretty fast, but and some big hits, but. Yeah, we'll see. Okay, right on. Thanks very much. So we're here at the Santa Cruz pits with Ethan. We've got Nina Hoffmann's bike in the stand. This thing looks factory. This looks super cool. Rolling with the black, red, yellow / gold theme, obviously for the Germans. Can you tell us a little about the inspiration for this paint job?
Yeah, it's pretty stealth. She wanted a pretty subtle bike this year. Like last 2 years, she's had a white bike and she's had a goldy yellow bike. So this year she was like, we want to tone it down, but with a little bit of spice. So yeah, stealth at the front, little gold accents, then some red pinstripe, and then up here we've got a nice red wrapped head tube. So it looks mean. And then we've got some nice gold writing on top of here with a name on it, and then the German flag, of course.
Alternating pin colors.
And the spoke nipples too. Yeah, we got spoke nipples. Got some quarters in there with gold and some red.
Yeah.
So just some little accents on a pretty stealth bike, which is, I think, it's pretty cool.
Very tidy indeed. Ethan just gave us a couple details on Jackson Goldstone's World Champs bike. Wish he was here, still out with that nagging knee injury, but I saw him riding the other day in Squamish. He's definitely hooning out there and eager to get back on the bike. Ethan told us a couple more details about this special bike. He said the paint job, the color is sort of after Jackson's Porsche 944. You can see that along the top tube. And then the wheels, he said his mechanic has gone all out and done alternating spokes, black and silver there. And that sort of emulates the little mess up that Jackson had with his Porsche. He tried to spray paint the wheels, ran out of spray paint. So sort of a funny inside joke there. Another little tidbit here on the back of the seat tube. We've got V10 with an exclamation mark, and that replicates an engine warning light. So running too hot. On the number plate, obviously no number this weekend. On the plate, he's got a couple notes from some friends. Everybody's wishing to see Jackson back racing and healthy again. Me too. So we're here with George at the YT pits. We've got O'Sheen's bike on display. This thing is loud, but man, does it look cool. So tell us a little bit about the paint job, where it came from, and got some other parts on there, like.
Dude, yeah, I mean, the paint job comes from our art department. We got a super pearlescent white. It's kind of hard to see in some lights, but it looks amazing. And then almost like a tie-dye scheme going on at the back on all three of the bikes, which looks cool.
He's got his name on the back.
Yeah.
Pretty nice. Factory.
Yeah, that's it.
Awesome.
That's it.
Mega, thank you.
No worries.
So check out Valley Hole's bike. This thing is also super flash with the pink, pearlescent white. This thing in real life looks wild. Got some big brakes on here, some fancy suspension. We've got a matching fork. This is a World Champs bike through and through. So we're here with MS Intense. Guillaume, got a crazy pit space set up. This thing looks built for the weather, but we've also got some wild looking paint jobs here. I've got Jacob Dixon's and David Trumer's bikes.
Yep.
Tell us where the inspiration for these bikes came from.
The color represents the flags, and yeah, we just tried to do like something a bit different than what we used to see, and it's not really a paint job. It's a wrap.
Okay.
It's some stickers.
Yeah.
So we always running stickers like on pretty much all the races, and we just do like a different one for the roads.
Thanks very much for the details.
Thanks to you.
Cheers. Cheers. Okay, we're here at Specialized. Kevin, Finn Isles' mechanic. Tell us about this crazy machine. This thing looks like a Terminator.
Yeah, it is. I hope it will be. But yeah, that's basically the same bike we've been running, but we asked the guy in Auburn just to give us the bike like how he is before we paint it on the other frame. So it's just like full CNC, like right out of the machine, and we just got them and built the bike, and that looks pretty sick. And yeah, overall it's pretty much the same bike with the little adjustment we've made those past few weeks with Finn, just to make it like pretty good for there.
Yeah, totally. Well, it's definitely eye-catching, and I see maybe some special hot patches on the tires here. What is the See You Monday all about?
It's been a while. Like See You Monday, it's like, you know, when you send something really big, you're like, boom, just send it. See you Monday. You know, see you later, guys.
Well, yeah, thanks for the details. This thing definitely, eye-catching. You won't miss it on track.
Yeah, I hope you're gonna catch it on the podium as well.